You think you understand why Brianna Fraser is one of the most disliked figures in the Outlander universe? Think again. The truth behind the fandom's frustration is far more seismic than anyone expected. Something unusual has shaken the Outlander community. Thousands of longtime viewers have finally admitted a truth they've held back for years: they can't stand Brianna Fraser. Once hailed as the future heart of the Fraser family, she has instead become a lightning rod for criticism, debate, and a storm that refuses to settle. What's even more shocking is that this backlash didn't burst out of nowhere. It simmered beneath the surface, quietly building, gathering fuel, and now erupting into a wildfire across forums, fan pages, and every corner of social media. People are sharing emotional confessions, blunt opinions, and long-held irritation, revealing why Brianna's presence has become a trigger point every time she appears on screen. And the most surprising part? Their reasons have little to do with looks or performance and everything to do with how the character has been written, positioned, and handled throughout the series. The deeper fans dig, the more they uncover contradictions, unlikable choices, and character decisions that make it difficult to empathize with this Fraser-born daughter. It all reached a breaking point when longtime viewers began saying the one thing they never dared say aloud: Brianna isn't like Jamie or Claire. She just exhausts us. Those words detonated like a grenade, turning the topic into the fandom's fiercest debate in years. And now that the truth is finally out in the open, only one question remains. What truly makes Brianna Fraser the most divisive character in Outlander? Brianna Fraser, the fiery, brilliant daughter of Jamie Fraser and Claire Randall, was once expected to become one of the franchise's most admired characters. But reality veered far from expectations. Within the global fandom, Brianna has become a source of irritation, a name that sparks arguments, lengthy rants, and comments like, "I skip every scene she's in. I can't connect with her at all." Or, "How can one character annoy me this much?" So what transformed the daughter born from one of television's most iconic love stories into one of its most heavily criticized characters? And why has the backlash intensified with each passing season instead of fading away? To understand the reaction to Brianna, we must acknowledge one key truth: Outlander has an almost impossibly strong cast. Fans adore Claire for her compassion, intelligence, and unbreakable spirit. They adore Jamie for his loyalty, courage, and timeless charm. They adore Lord John Grey for his dignity and moral clarity. They adore young Ian for his sincerity and growth. They adore Murta for his quiet devotion. Even complex villains like Black Jack Randall and Stephen Bonnet command fascination because of their layered portrayals and outstanding writing. In a universe overflowing with compelling, emotionally rich characters, Brianna entered under impossible circumstances, expected to match legends. Expectations were sky high, and her character arc collided sharply with what viewers wanted, setting her up for inevitable backlash. For many fans, the turning point came during her clashes with Claire. Viewers never forgot moments when Brianna responded to Claire's sacrifices across centuries, with anger, irritation, or coldness. When Claire revealed her return to the 18th century, something many saw as miraculous, Brianna's first reaction was blame and resentment. For a large part of the fandom, this lack of empathy felt unforgivable. The comparison between Brianna's anger and Claire's saint-like resilience only intensified the divide. Another source of frustration is Brianna's unpredictability, an inconsistency that doesn't deepen her character but instead leaves viewers emotionally detached. She oscillates between fury, impulsiveness, detachment, and sudden vulnerability without a steady emotional arc. Many describe her as a character who behaves like a modern young woman dropped into the 18th century, without ever adjusting to its world. This creates a tonal disconnect that makes her feel out of place even within her own story. Then there's her romance with Roger, one of the fandom's most controversial storylines. Their relationship often feels like a repetitive loop: anger, separation, reconciliation, doubt, forgiveness, repeat. Instead of complexity, viewers see a cycle where Brianna's temper makes Roger appear less like a partner and more like collateral damage. Some frustrated fans even claim she treats him nearly as harshly as the villain who traumatized her, though their anger is clearly aimed at the writing, not the character's suffering. No discussion of Brianna is complete without her traumatic storyline involving Stephen Bonnet. Viewers don't resent her for what she endured, they resent how the aftermath was portrayed. Instead of a carefully developed trauma arc, the show jumps between extremes: moments of total stoicism, abrupt emotional collapse, fierce independence, unexpected dependence. The inconsistency makes it difficult for viewers to connect to her healing journey. A fascinating trend across the fandom is the divide between book fans and show fans. Many readers adore book Brianna, layered, warm, sharp, and steady. Show Brianna, however, is often described as tense, combative, or emotionally rigid. Changes in writing and adaptation widened the gap, leaving viewers feeling like they were watching a different character entirely. One of the most explosive disappointments came during her first meeting with Jamie, a long-awaited moment fans imagined would be soulful, tender, and unforgettable. Instead, Brianna confronted him with anger and judgment, despite his complete innocence in their separation. Many felt Jamie showed her more compassion than she extended to him, amplifying existing resentment. But there's another truth. Brianna arrived at a moment when Jamie and Claire's epic romance was at its peak. Any character who diverts screen time away from them risks backlash. Brianna simply arrived at the wrong emotional moment in the fandom's attachment cycle. Generational dynamics play a role too. Many viewers feel that the older characters endured unimaginable hardships, while Brianna appears entitled, impatient, or temperamental in comparison. The emotional gap between expectation and reality only grows wider as the story progresses. To be fair, Brianna does have her supporters, fans who admire her strength, intellect, loyalty, and resilience. But the reality is unmistakable: the number of viewers who find her frustrating significantly outweighs those who appreciate her. The final verdict is this: Brianna Fraser isn't a bad character. She is a character caught in impossible expectations, inconsistent writing, and emotional misalignment within a world full of larger-than-life legends. With a steadier arc, sharper development, and clearer emotional grounding, she might have stood proudly alongside Claire and Jamie as one of Outlander's greats. But today, she remains the series' most polarizing figure. And that is exactly why so many fans struggle with her.